So here's an example of we're multiplying two radicals. Right, so we have 4 times the fifth root of negative 10 x squared y sixth, and we're multiplying it by 3 times the fifth root of 16x to the fourth y to the fourth. So what do we actually do here? Well, let's see. I'm going to use two different colors for these. So let's rewrite this. You get 4 times the fifth root of negative 10 x squared y to the sixth times three times the fifth root of 16 x to the fourth y to the fourth. Now what's the index here? The index is 5. Right, so we have to remember that here the index is 5, which means we say fifth root. Right, fifth root. Okay, right, what do we do here? Well, because this is multiplication and because the index is the same for both radicals, we can multiply the insides to the insides and the outsides to the outsides. So let's see. I'm going to change my color here. So I can rewrite this as 4 times 3 times the fifth root of negative 10 x squared y to the sixth times the fifth root of 16 x to the fourth y to the fourth. Right. So 4 times 3 gives me a 12. Let me use a different color. 4 times 3 gives me a 12. What happens when I multiply two radicals with the same index? Well, we can just make a big radical. There you go. And then multiply everything inside. So, and don't forget the index there. The index here is 5, so I'll put the 5 there. So I get negative 10 x squared y to the sixth times 16 x to the fourth y to the fourth. Right. Now I can multiply inside the radicals, the numbers to the numbers and the variables to the variables. So what do I get? Let's see. I get 12 on the outside, and on the inside the fifth root of negative 10 multiplied by 16. I'm going to multiply the number to the number. Then we have x squared multiplied by x to the fourth, and then we have y sixth, y to the sixth multiplied by y to the fourth. So I get 12. Let me use a different color. So I get 12 times the fifth root, and I may not need it that big, but halfway because we're multiplying. So negative 10 times 16 is negative 160. X to the second times x to the fourth is x to the sixth. Y to the sixth times y to the fourth is y to the 10th. So let's go over here. So I get 12 times the fifth root of negative 160. And I'm going to separate them now. The fifth root of x to the sixth and the fifth root of y to the 10th. Well, the 12 stays at 12. Now, I need to figure out if I can rewrite 160. So is there a, not a perfect square, but a perfect fifth, basically, that divides into 160? So what's the list of perfect sixths? Let's see. 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is what? 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 16 times 2 is 32. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 3 is 27. 27 times 3, I don't know what that is, so let's get a calculator. Let's see if I can use my calculator. I'm going to go and do I need scientific or do I have a power? I don't have a power, so I'm going to do a scientific calculator here. And so let's see, I get 3 raised to 5, 243. So that doesn't work. I was looking for negative 160, but that doesn't work. So 243 is too big. So the only thing that might work is this 32. So let's see if the 32 is actually divisible. So does 160 go into 32? Let's see. I'm going to clear this out. Clear. Where's the clear button? So 160 divided by 32. It goes 5 times. Yay! All right, perfect. So I can rewrite this now as the fifth root. What happened? Oh, never mind. So I can rewrite this as, the fifth root of 32 times 5. But one of them have to be negative because my answer here is negative. So let's see. So I'm going to say negative 32 times 5. And then here I have the fifth root of x to the sixth. 6 divided by 5 is 1. So I'm going to take 1 out. 1's left over. So I'm going to say the fifth root of x. What is 10 divided by 5? 10 divided by 5 is 2. So I get y squared. Alright. The fifth root of negative 32 is 2. So I get 12 times, would this be a positive 2 or negative 2? This will be a negative 2 because I'm multiplying it 5 times. So this is negative 2. And then I have x, y squared, fifth root of x. And so my final answer is negative 24 x y squared, the fifth root of x. That's my final answer. Let me give you a minute to take notes. Mr. Wilson, let's make sure everybody's taking notes. I see a person on the phone listening to music. Actually, I see several people on the phone. I guess you're using it for classwork? I don't know. Hi, Mr. Wilson, let's make sure that nobody's listening to music while they're working, okay? We have some smart kids who are, who are hiding their headphones really conspicuously.